Right. Well, once again, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because I know you're doing a lot. But since the last time we spoke, Egypt is in the news, right? Egypt is
Mhm.
making headlines. They're talking about an underground city, and this is really sending shockwaves through
Mhm.
the whole world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, this is something that I've been talking about for over a decade. When I started talking about the pyramid, the Giza pyramids, the Great Pyramid, the Khafre Pyramid, just the plateau itself, and even the pyramids at Saqqara. And I have been talking about these underground shafts and underground areas that are wide open that hold this area called the Halls of Amenti, according to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which some people recently that attacked tried to say, "Oh, this just a guy sat down in 1923 and made up a sci-fi movie in his head." Not quite. You can't make this kind of stuff up. And for the fact that in my book that I wrote 5 years ago, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, which has been a bestseller on Amazon for over 5 years now, maybe five and a half years total time. On page 34, not only do I talk about this underground vast opening and what it may hold, I have a rendering of what it would look like based on the account of Thoth in the Emerald Tablets. And guess what? The columns are there. They go deep beneath the earth, and this area is so vast and so wide that if you took it and dug it out and put the Burj Khalifa next to it, the tallest building in the world in Dubai, it's the same height. It's actually slightly taller than the Burj Khalifa if you go all the way to the tip of the pyramid. So if you go from the tip of the pyramid down to the deepest part of this underground built, I don't know what it is if you want to call it this technology, this underground shaft or these columns that go deep 2,000 kilometers. This thing is just a little taller than the Burj Khalifa. We're talking about something that's mesmerizing here. And people have tried to come out and debunk it immediately without even looking at the research data. So let's debunk the debunkers right from the beginning. A lot of critics came out. You already know what they're going to do. They're going to come out and talk about that the SAR scans can't penetrate that deep into the earth. Well, they're thinking about an old version of the SAR scan, right? They're thinking about that version. They're saying that you can't penetrate that deep. Zahi Hawass, the overseer and the keeper of the knowledge, the blocker or the opposition of knowledge coming out of Egypt for many, many decades, immediately makes a statement without looking at any of the data that, oh, this can't be real. And then another scientist also came out and tried to say that as well, who is totally on the other side of the world, never looked at the data as well, but they're all part of the same inner circle. They're trying to keep this kind of knowledge hidden. So I wanted to get that out of the way in the beginning. And why are we going to debunk it? Okay. Unlike ground penetrating radar, this scientist named Biondi, his SAR technology employs X band microwaves at 10 gigahertz with a 3 centimeter wavelength. This is coming from a satellite, okay? This is coming from a satellite in space. It penetrates the ground less than 30 centimeters, but instead of directly scanning the underground like the other version of SAR, it detects subtle surface vibrations that create minute shivers triggered by the resonance of this band. So it can actually penetrate even deeper because it's picking up the vibrations. The vibrations rise back up towards the beam, send that information back to the CPU or the processor on the satellite, and then it's able to extrapolate the empty space from the solid space and to create a rendering of what's under the ground. And by this revolutionary method, they were able to find that these vibrations are similar to seismic waves and they generate a Doppler effect. And this is why this SAR technology is revolutionary, and everyone is going to start using it on all these ancient sites very, very soon, because this version or this method of utilizing SAR technology allows you to see deep, deep, deep beneath many layers of solid stone, and you can get a rendering. Now you don't have to dig holes, meters wide out to the south, east, north, or west, and then try to go down and dig a tunnel. You can and then hope you can find what's there, so you don't destroy the structure. You can simply use a satellite with this specific 10 gigahertz, 3 centimeter wide band technology, and you can create this amazing imagery, which we've seen going viral on the internet.
Okay, that's phenomenal. So let's go back. So for a lot of people who don't know this story that broke, this scientist coming out from Italy saying that there's a vast underground city, And I actually made a video when this story first broke and it was going viral. News stations picked it up. I want to ask you, what was your first reaction when this story broke out? Were you surprised? Were you like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been saying with Donny Arcade? Because I actually listened to your song afterwards. I'm like, oh my gosh, he called it years ago. How did you know?
You wrote that song in 2016.
Right.
For people who, I'm also a music producer. I wrote books about it, right? This book's 5.5 years old almost, the Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. And when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. This is one of those, another confirmation moment for forbidden knowledge. I've had so many confirmation moments over the years. One of the very first talking about chemtrails, one of the very first talking about geoengineering contracts and what the effect of them is, and that countries and states will start banning them, which has happened. One of the very first to talk about all these other things that have gone on, and they just keep coming up to be true. And this is just another one that happens to be true. And the evidence is that even in the book, I depict a rendering of these underground columns going deep beneath the earth, underneath Giza, coming from underneath the pyramids, and creating this vast underground area that seems to potentially even go on for miles in different directions.
So what do you know, just playing the devil's advocate, because people want to know who these scientists are. You know, I know they're credible scientists, but we're in a world right now of fact checkers. So from your own research and everything, who are these scientists coming out with these bold claims?
Yeah, well, the name of the scientists are a research team. So it's a team, not just one. It's Corrado Malanga, Corrado, Malanga, Malanga, Armando May, that's Armando and then Filippo Biondi, okay, which, you know, Biondi is his last name if you look that up, and Nicole Ciccolo, Ciccolo, and they are basically the ones that came up with this research technology. Now, this group, I forget what country, I think they're out of Italy or France, but they have access to this satellite, which they, they rigged this technology on. And that's why they didn't have to get any permission from Egypt to do this, because they were doing it from space and nobody can stop that. So it's crazy. And they were able to scan even see the Balanzi chamber in the Khafre pyramid. So this technology is incredible. These scientists are real scientists and researchers and archaeologists that anyone can Google those names and pull up all the science data and the peer-reviewed information on their findings and previous findings in the past. This isn't the first time they've had discoveries.
So I've been to Egypt twice. You've been to Egypt. You've done tours there. The pyramids are fascinating. 2.3 million blocks of stone. We still can't build it today. A lot of people want to know why now, because there have been so many people who have gone to Egypt. Why is this coming out at this specific time in 2025? Why is this claim coming out that there's an underground city? Is there significance? Have they been holding this back, or are they just gathering all the research just to unleash it on the whole public?
Well, great question. A lot of the people on the inside circle, like Zahi Hawass and a few others, have been holding this information back from the general public for a very, very long time. They have known that these areas underneath exist, and they haven't done proper scans to create the renderings that we have now. But they know that there's tunnels that lead from the Sphinx all the way out to the Ziggurat of Ur in Iraq, as well as corresponding tunnels that lead from Giza Plateau all the way out to Iraq and into Mesopotamia as well, deep underground. They know all about this stuff. I've been in the underground, they're dried out, I guess what the geological name for them would be, this is where the Nile used to run. And the Nile now is dried out from that area as it meandered off. And so it leaves these dry openings underneath the pyramids. And I've been in those as well. I forget the technical geological name for those, but there's so much going on underneath. And I've descended 65 meters beneath the Great Pyramid in something called the subterranean shaft. And only less than 0.1% of the world has ever even known about it. And less than 1% of them have ever been inside of it. And I'm one of the people to be inside of that amazing shaft. So there's so much going on. They know about this stuff, but they keep it hidden from us, or have kept it hidden from us, because it breaks down mainstream narratives, and somebody's paying these people to do this. Now, why is it coming out now? This is the really big question. Well, it has been foretold that this is the era and this is the time, this age of Aquarius, which just began in 2025. We are now in the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment. The age of esoteric wisdom has come forward. So people like yourself, Ralph, and myself, we have been way ahead of the game in the curve, leading humanity back into this new age where we're going to become awakened, because we're in the age of information, but information like no other. Not just information that's toxic, but information that's enlightening, information that will wake up humanity, information that will take us back in time to rediscover who we truly are, and to begin to rip away this amnesia that humanity has. So once we discover who we are, what we did, where we came from, and the truth about the ancient past, we can then merge together, organize, and build a much better future for humanity on this planet. And that's where we're going.